Hey, you guys, let's go ahead and get started with some messages from our spirit guides, angels, and ancestors. We are on this new moon in Cancer conjunct Jupiter, and you hear a lot about, oh, this is the luckiest day of the year, blah, 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 blah. Here's the deal. No, it's not. Not this year. It's not going to be. Now, the reason why I say that is because, Cancer is that family, wholesome, loving, nurturing, it's the mama, it's the home, it's all of those things. But, you know, there's a lot of broken promises and all of that. Or, with Jupiter, he is the planet of expansion. So it can be kind of expanding your awareness of like where the cracks are in your family. Like we have a lot of displaced family. Okay. Parents and children being, separated. We see it, and it's a pandemic at this point. I'm seeing it way more often than not where children are turning against their parents and the families are just distorted, and you're not really even seeing funerals anymore, and, family reunions and those types of things. And so this is also about like, where are you not being nurtured? Where are you not nurturing yourself even? It's like, you're at a job and you go, oh, it's okay because it's paying the bills and whatever else. But really, in all actuality, you hate your job. You hate being there. It's not nurturing that feeling within you of like wanting to go to work every day. You just do it because it's what you're used to. Or even relationships, like, so for some of you, if you still are in touch with your families, it's like you're not feeling nurtured, you're not feeling nourished in these relationships. It's like, people just disregard you, or you have to keep your mouth shut in order to keep the peace, yet it's starting a war within yourself. And that's only going to create more health issues and things like that later on down the road, if it hasn't already. Because our bodies are a physical manifestation of like all the things that we've been harboring, at this time. And so are you nourishing your body? Are you being able to take care of yourself? Are you eating, good, clean food? Do you have access to good, clean water? Because that can be under the guise, because Cancer is a water sign, right? Are you drinking too much and not taking care of your body? Because again, it's a water sign. So I do see a lot of my water signs, or people who have a lot of water in their chart. They tend to be, overindulging, and around this time, Jupiter expanding that, you may overindulge and get yourself into some trouble. So, it's also like broken promises. It could even be like people that feel like family, and they're not really stepping up to the plate and actually, being that. And so this can be a lot of like disappointments in some aspects. But it really boils down to, where are you not allowing yourself to be nurtured? And, a lot of people will stay in relationships longer past the expiration date, even though they're not getting anything out of the relationship. They're not feeling safety and security in the relationship. The only safety and security is you have a fucking roof over your head and you might have some food. But yet the two of you guys treat each other like shit. So there's a lot of awareness that's coming up through the collective right now, when it comes to this energy. So don't let anybody fool you. I mean, doesn't mean that we can't have good days and bad days, but there's a lot to do with the family dynamic right now, and nurturing, and the stomach, the breasts also. So for some of you, maybe you're doing mammograms, which I don't ever recommend. I recommend ultrasounds because you don't want to break the tissue. But, you do what you're going to do. So here's what we got from a postcard from Spirit. We got, dearest you, pump up the music, bang the drums, get on up and start that hustle towards your goals and dreams. There are times to be still, but this is not one of them. Now is the time to make that first move. Say yes to life. Pick up the phone, make that decision, and take that one step towards the gods, or us. Expect a cascade of changes, good news, and opportunities to show up as if by magic. Well, we know it's really Spirit and all of us moving things around for your benefit. The point is that we are saying, go for it. Take positive action towards your dreams. Even if the outcome isn't an exact fit for your agenda, it will all be orchestrated by spirit and arrive in divine appropriate timing. Don't you just love how this all works out? So one of the things that I want to say is the fact that, yeah, they say that today is the luckiest day of the year, but again, broken promises, there's disappointment, those types of things, but you're going to see how it all ends up playing out. Maybe it's delayed. It doesn't mean that we won't have the gratification or, the emotional security and things like that. So it's almost like rejection is God's protection. So walk towards your dreams. Cancer is also about the dream space. It is ruled by the moon. So the moon is literally in its natural home sign right now, which makes it that much more potent. And having it there and conjunct Jupiter, it might take it's like a trickle out effect. Okay. And so it might take some time for you to see what this new moon is actually going to bring forth. But in the meantime, there has to be like this understanding of like, again, where am I not being nurtured? And it's saying like, get on it, move towards your goals. And moving towards your goals means you may have to leave certain people, places, and things behind, and I see that so much. But right now, the only way to master the game is to be 100% true and authentic to you, okay? And who you are. And that may piss a lot of people off, but that's okay. If they're supposed to be back in your life, they'll come back later. And if they're not supposed to be back in your life, wish them well and send them love. And, don't hold on to any type of resentment or hurt or pain or wish them ill will. No, because you don't want that to come back to you. So making sure that you're sending them off with love, and whatever happens, happens. If you want to welcome them back later on with arms wide open, then that's your prerogative. Some will work out, some will not. All right. So what else do we have, Spirit, for this energy? So, I think for a lot of us, we have some course corrections. For some of you, it's like maybe you're, going to go after your dreams. You're going to go after a new job. You're like, okay, I don't really like where I'm at. It's not feeling really good. Or, you know what? I'm going to go off on my own. I'm going to go do my own thing. Sometimes, Cancer being the home is not a place. It's a feeling. It's the people that make you feel at home in their presence. The people that don't make you walk on eggshells. The people that accept you for exactly who you are, to love you unconditionally. That is family. Family is loyalty. Family is honesty. Family is integrity, And it's not this whole that you have to be somebody else in order for us to feel comfortable to stay in this relationship. So what else do we have here, Spirit, for the collective? Spirit messages, what do we got? Surrender to the divine. So just, full moon completion that's happening in your past. It's still coloring your future. So you did end something. You did walk away. For some of you, you walked away from someone. It says balance spirituality and practicality, but it landed face down on the floor, so I'm not going to take it. If it wants to come back out, it will. All right, so what do we got here, Spirit, for the collective? What do they need to hear? Oh, there it is. All right, what do we got? Take time to breathe out. Take the next couple of days. We've had a dark moon, which means a void off-course moon, which means the moon's not making any aspects. So with that said, you know what? Take time to heal. Take time to breathe. Maybe for some of you, doing some Wim Hof breath work would also help. For those of you who have anxiety or overly worried about things and how they're going to move forward, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid is what I want to say. Okay, so we have this new moon in Cancer. I got the full moon in Cancer here. And it says a personal issue reaches a resolution. And look at this, the conclusions are within reach. So 2 cards that are talking about conclusions and issues reaching resolution. So for some of you, it's like, you know what? Okay, if you're buying or selling a home, okay? It's like, it's so close yet so far away. It's like you can taste it. It's coming, but yet you can't really see how it's all going to play itself out. So that's kind of like the dark moon. And then boom, you get the call and you sold your home and now you're off to another place. You're packing and getting ready to move. Same thing with a job, same thing with, if you are having some type of issues with family and the mother and nurturing or, those types of things. I do feel like eventually there will be a resolution, but it's really going to have to come from the party that is, so dogmatic in their way of thinking, believing, being, and seeing that it's going to take time. Okay. It could even for some of you take until the full moon in Cancer, because we have the new moon today and we have the full moon here landing in the future column. So this could be timing. And it's almost like, it's almost like it feels sometimes like a prison, like, especially parents, who are estranged from their children. It is a prison, because a lot of the time, and especially nowadays, it's like, you'll think everything's going good. And then just all of a sudden one day, the children just drop off and you're like left going, wait, what happened? You don't get a phone call for Christmas. You don't get a phone call on your birthday anymore. No Mother's Day, no Father's Day. And you're just like, wait, what? And this is such a trend. This is such a trend. I mean, literally, I have been following these groups on social media, and the amount of parents on there that are going through that exact same thing, and my private readings of people that I've been dealing with, and then in my own personal life. This is such a pandemic of, families being torn apart. And so, again, this could have a lot to do with nostalgia. And you know what? You just need to breathe knowing that everything is going to work out. But it's going to work out in divine right order. But it can feel, it's almost like they have prison bars. They're looking through these prison bars. And it's like, you're just going to have to surrender the situation and just, taking time to breathe means like taking time to go out and work on your own dreams, your own aspirations. Who are you? For those of you parents, whose kids are off on, their adult children or, whatever, how can you reintegrate who you are and to self-soothe? And I don't like self-soothing because it's such a abandonment situation. But I mean, myself, I do self-soothe. I've had to learn to do that since birth is, there was never a safe place. In fact, my birth mother even called 911 on me because I was crying in a laundromat when I was like 2 months old. I was adopted, and she had the cops called because I was bothering other people. And, so I started out from birth having the cops called on me. But I had a respiratory infection, but she just couldn't take care of me. So at 4 months old, I was taken away and put into foster care and then adopted it too. So I get that self-soothing because there is no safe space for people. And then when you're, you do try to open up to others, they kind of shut you down or they give you this passive aggressive, like, oh, you're strong, you can handle it. So again, it just kind of is demeaning in some aspects because it's like, I'm sharing with you how I'm really feeling and you're deducing it to like a, hey, you got this, buddy, like, good, you got it. And it's like, wow, okay. So, but at the end of the day, talk to somebody. I mean, for me, fortunately, I do have people who have stepped in and been, better moms than the moms I ended up with, and I'm still very much close and in contact with this individual, and I'm so grateful for her. So for any of you who have aunties out there that, even if you're an adult, I mean, I'm 45 years old and I still need that's emotional security and knowing that I have a safe space that I can go where I can be free and talk about the hurts and the pains without getting kicked in the stomach or kicked in the teeth. Okay. Which is something I've been very used to with my own family. No, I'm not allowed to show signs of weakness at all. The moment that I do, that's like a crack in my aura, and then they can burrow in and just hit me. So I know better than that. But at the end of the day, I do feel like all of this can turn itself around, but your major focus needs to be on, creating a new identity for yourself, not one that is the wife or the mother or the husband or the father, or, belong. No, who are you without all of this? Get back into your hobbies, go back into the things that you always dreamed of doing. Well, I didn't travel, or I didn't move to this place because, I was staying here for the kids. Well, they're not going to give a fuck about you when they turn around, grow up, society gets involved, and everything else. And they have new friends and new family and new husbands, new, in-laws, because it's a shiny new toy. So then you're left holding the bag, and now you've given up your entire life for these other individuals who are going to turn their back on you. Not that every family is like that, but more often than not, I am seeing that. And if it's not them turning their back on you, it's just life is happening, and they're going out and they're rebelling, and they're learning how to walk right now, and their adult legs, and where they have freedom, they're not confined where somebody tells them, no, you can't go to the park. No, you can't play with your friend. No, you can't have a sleepover. It's like, yes, they can, and they will. And, if you are trying to hold on, that's when they're going to push you away. So don't try to hold on. Let's see what else. What do we got from the wisdom of the oracle? All right, so I got happy. What makes you happy? What have you been incubating? That's what I see. It's like she's sitting on this egg. What have you been incubating that you could be out doing right now? Again, where's your hopes? Where's your wishes? Where's your dreams? Get your ass out there and get it started. If you got a new hobby or a new business idea, maybe you want to, set up a little booth at a farmer's market. What are you doing? Yang, take action. Take action. Okay? Instead of sitting in this never-ending story. Oh, it never changes. Tick-tock, the clock is ticking. Oh, where'd it go? Yeah, deep knowing. But tick-tock, the clock is ticking. For some of you, you want a relationship. You want to feel safety and security in a relationship, but you're too afraid to go out there and make that happen because of past disappointments and things like that. Spirit says, surrender that to us. Let's take care of this. Let's take some time to heal so that, we can get ourselves through this. And for some of you, you're almost there. You're almost to the finish line, but quit sitting here telling yourself the same old song and dance. All right? Yeah! Tick-tock, the clock is ticking. There it is. I said it. Tick-tock. To be fair, everything's going to work out in divine right order. And now we have the yin and the yang, which is the masculine and feminine. So therefore, for those of you who are wanting a relationship, it's only a matter of time. And if you've been doing your work and really healing, then these are going to be ones that can last the test of time, that can give you that emotional security. But we have that, divine masculine and divine feminine, the yin, the yang, the ebb and the flow, and the knowing when to go out. And maybe that's within you. It's like some things could be coming in towards you, and it's going to be up to you to take action. And some of these, you're going to have to do it in a timely manner. Okay? Don't act like you have all the time in the world. And for others of you, you're feeling like you're running out of time. Okay? Oh, I'm never going to do this, or this is never going to come through. And again, for some of you, this is about, the purchase of a new home. Maybe you're going to be talking to a real estate agent, and they're going to tell you when you can put your home up on the market. And they're going to tell you the perfect time to be able to do that to make sure it's fair for everyone. But for others of you, if this is, like I said, things that are going on within the family, there will be justice. This is like, the justice card. There will be justice in this situation. Yes, number 11, 38 adds to an 11. So eventually justice will prevail, the law of cause and effect. So again, you get out there, you keep being you keep just, being nurturing and loving and kind, and let other people go do what they're going to do. In the meantime, take care of you. I'm going to leave that there, you guys, subject to interpretation, but just know that there are conclusions. They are within reach. Within reach, who knows? It might be just a little bit outside of your reach right now. And you're going to have to be okay with that. Trust in the divine. Everything's going to work out. And have faith in your dreams and start taking positive action and putting one foot in front of the other. Like they said, you take one step towards the gods, they're going to take 10 steps towards you. Love you guys all so much. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Comment. Let me know how this reading resonates with you. Give me a purple heart if you guys have gotten this far. I would really appreciate it. Claim this message. And let's work through those issues. If you're interested in a personal reading, all my information's in the description box down below. I love you guys all so much. Take care.